Today, we're cracking the code on one of the most powerful and, honestly, most misunderstood forces out there, charisma. We're going to distill the core principles from an expert, Charlie Hubert, who basically argues that charisma isn't some magic you're born with. Nope, it's a skill you can actually learn. So let's just start with the big question right off the bat. Is charisma a gift? Something you either have or you don't? For the longest time, pretty much everyone thought, yeah, absolutely, that some people are just naturally magnetic. But what if that's the single biggest myth holding us back from connecting with people? And this is where the story gets really, really interesting. It all starts with this just brutally honest comment a friend made to our expert, Charlie Hubert. Ouch, right? He wasn't just shy, he felt totally unseen. He said it was almost like a self-preservation thing, to stay safe by just blending in. Well, that one moment kicked off this years-long obsession to figure out the code to human connection, and it turned him into a leading teacher on the whole subject. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to bust that big myth we just talked about. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, making amazing first impressions and breaking free from that boring small talk we all hate. After that, we'll dive into the inner game with a charismatic mindset. And finally, we'll help you find a style that is 100% authentically you. Okay, first things first, this is probably the most important idea of the whole thing, the one that makes everything else even possible. And it's this: charisma is a learnable skill. And that's not just some feel-good platitude, it's a total shift in how we think about our own potential to connect. Let's just be crystal clear. This idea that you're either born charismatic or you're not, it's completely false. Charlie Hubert is living proof of that. For the first 18 years of his life, he was totally convinced he didn't have it. But then he found out that just changing how he approached conversations had a massive impact. He realized charisma isn't magic, it's a system. And like any system, you can learn it. And why should you care? Well, because charisma might just be the single most underrated tool for success. And it's not just about being liked, not at all. It's the ability to speak with conviction, to influence people, to genuinely connect. It affects everything, from getting that promotion over someone who's maybe more qualified on paper, to just your day-to-day sense of joy and belonging. It's huge. Okay, so let's move from the big ideas to stuff you can actually do. We're going to start with first impressions. How do you walk into a room and just project confidence, even if on the inside you're kind of freaking out? Now, this is a fascinating concept: prey versus predator movements. Just think about it for a second. Prey animals, like a rabbit, they're all jerky and quick. Their head is always darting around. That signals anxiety, right? Low status. Now think about a predator, like a lion. They're slow, calm, deliberate. That signals safety and confidence. You can literally appear more grounded and confident just by slowing everything down: your hands, your eye movements, even the pace you walk at. And this all comes together in this super simple 60-second framework: fun, trust, and respect. For fun, it's as easy as being more enthusiastic than people expect. Someone asks, "How are you?" Instead of the usual "fine," try "fantastic" or "I'm having a great day." Enthusiasm is totally contagious. For trust, it's all about your intention. You're not there to get something from them. And respect, well, that's communicated without saying a word, through that calm, predator-like presence we were just talking about. All right, next up is a challenge every single one of us has faced: being trapped in that painfully boring small talk. We're going to look at a really simple trick to break free and actually have conversations that lead somewhere. So here is the real problem. We all have this conversational autopilot we fall back on. Where are you from? What do you do? And we give the shortest possible answer, right? And the conversation just dies. We don't give the other person anything to work with. And this slide just illustrates the solution so perfectly. It's using hooks. Look at the dead-end answer: Philadelphia. That's it. It forces the other person to do all the heavy lifting. But now look at the answer with hooks. It gives them so many things to grab onto. Why didn't you fit in? Oh, where'd you travel? What kind of business do you have? You're basically handing them a menu of interesting topics that you actually want to talk about. It's a game changer. So we've talked about the external stuff. Now let's go deeper and talk about the internal engine that drives all of this. This is about what you believe before you even open your mouth. This is the charismatic mindset. What you have to get here is that your inner state totally broadcasts itself outward. A mindset like, no matter what, I will be okay, just takes all the pressure off. It removes the life or death feeling from social situations. Thinking, I don't need to convince anyone, shifts you from a place of neediness to a place of confident invitation. And I will go first, that's all about leadership. Be the first one to give a compliment or tell a joke or even show a tiny bit of vulnerability. And finally, and this is so important, you don't have to become some totally different person. The goal here isn't to copy someone else's charisma. No, it's to find and amplify your own authentic style. And this slide shows it perfectly. There are so many paths to being charismatic. You might be the energetic type, like a young Will Smith who just lights up a room. Or maybe you're the empathetic type, like Oprah, who has this incredible gift for making people feel truly seen and heard. Then you've got funny, authentic, and high conviction. Think Steve Jobs. Each one has its own superpower. So just take a second and look at these. Which one of them really resonates with you? Which style just feels like you? That's your starting point. You don't have to be a master of all of them. You just have to lean into the one that's already a part of who you are. Okay, let's make this real. I want to give you a challenge, something super simple but powerful that you can start doing right now. In every little interaction you have today with the barista, a coworker, anyone, just add one more sentence than you normally would. That's it. It's a tiny exercise that builds that muscle of connection little by little. So we'll leave you with this final thought. If charisma and connection aren't these fixed traits, but they're skills that you can practice and get better at just like anything else, what parts of your life could you totally transform? What doors, both in your career and in your personal life, are you going to open?